Joe Colbert. I wanted to give you an update on what some of the associations, condos, co-ops, homeowners associations that we represent as general counsel are doing during this pandemic in order to protect themselves and their residents. One of the things that they should and have been doing is looking at their rules. You know, what they can do and can't do according to their present rules, and whether or not the boards need to change the rules in light of the new way that people are living and using the common areas of the association. Taking a hard look and then having a board meeting to discuss and crafting new rules in order to protect the association's residents and prevent liability and negligence is always a good idea. Next thing they're doing is keeping their residents informed. One topic that has come up more frequent than not is a resident contracts COVID 19. They're either quarantined in the apartment or they've been taken to the hospital. What does the board and management say to unit owners? And there's been a lot of different approaches. You can't or you shouldn't be giving out personal identifying information on the unit owner. There are privacy rights. If you say what their apartment number is and their name, it could lead to certain concerns in the future. But telling residents that there has been an infection in the building, and then letting them know, is there any risk to them? You should also probably tell them that you can't give out that identification information, as it would lead to problems for the association. And usually that works, but people like to be informed. You know, what is staff doing? What is management doing in order to protect the residents? Another thing is meetings. Boards still should be meeting. In New York, you can have conferences over the phone. If your bylaws permit certain other ways of having meetings, or if the laws permit it, then you should be holding meetings. They can be short meetings, they could be regular board meetings, but you should be holding meetings. But having them in an apartment is probably not a good idea, or in a boardroom in the building, as we have social distancing, which should be adhered to. But the meetings should happen. Business needs to be conducted. Rules need to be looked at. There's going to be arrears issues that are going to have to be addressed. It's just something that you have to stay on top of. And more important than actually having the meeting is actually recording the meeting. So you should be keeping minutes. Somebody should be taking notes and then of the board's decisions, and then they should be recorded somewhere, because if board's making a decision and it's not recorded, that could lead to problems for you. Are the annual meetings. A lot of buildings may have that cycle where their annual meeting's coming up. It's probably a good idea to put it off unless you can do some sort of an electronic voting, or some other way of holding the meeting. But holding a regular gathering of unit owners or cooperative shareholders is probably not a good idea at this point in time. So putting it off is a good way of approaching that, unless you can adopt an electronic format for the meeting, which many associations can do that now. And then the last piece is insurance. You should be consulting with your insurance brokers and agents, and seeing whether or not your current insurance coverage is adequate based on what's going on. We've done a lot of reading and talking to the insurance industry as to what's going to be covered and what's not going to be covered, and it's really a case-by-case analysis. The better insurance you have, the more protected your association is going to be. We're expecting lawsuits to come out of this pandemic. The board didn't do this or the board did that, and challenging the board's decision making during these difficult times. So, with that, those are the broad brush things you should be thinking about. I hope that helped. Take care.